have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on for.
Bigger than I think anyone anticipated. We are obviously going to be requesting the SARS reports from Treasury and also following up on that. There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, too, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it? And so there's more to follow, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from the chairman momentarily. But I do applaud the victims from coming forward because we heard from a woman who was as young as 14 years old when she was victimized multiple times by Jeffrey Epstein. So that's hard to hear.
Will you sign the discharge petition as the discharge petition?
I think that the files will probably be released prior. I don't know why Comer hasn't. I think that he should do it, so it wouldn't even have to come to a vote. But I mean, obviously, I've been a huge advocate, even when I was the only one in Congress calling for the release of this file. So I think I'd be happy to, yes. Thank you.
What do they call for the victims? Do they want those files released?
The victims want information to be out there, but they don't want their personal information, I think, for good reason to be out there. So I think from the get-go, even the Attorney General stated that there's victim information that you have to make sure that's private, being that some of the victims also, too, are as young as 14. That's child pornography. No, thank you, guys.
Guys, let her through.
Recent Jeffrey Epstein email leaks reveal that he had intense partnership with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and surveillance spy Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel. Hacked from Ehud Barak's inbox, over 100,000 messages from 2007 to 2016 were released in May 2025. Many of the emails between Barak and Epstein are talk of wanting to start new surveillance companies together. One email shows Epstein inviting Barak to a meeting with Peter Thiel in May 2014 to talk about their investments in an Israeli starter company called Reporty Homeland Security, now known as Carbine. Carbine is a 911 overhaul platform tied to Israel's Unit 8200, the same cyber spy unit spying on Palestinians to kill them and used in many U.S. counties to track our 911 calls. And their executive team is filled with previous Israeli intelligence members. Epstein and Barak were funneling money into this to embed Israeli surveillance tech into American systems. Both Carbine and Palantir were inspired by the Patriot Act, which came out of 9/11, which our government used as an end to be able to legally spy on American citizens. The emails also reveal Barak and Epstein casually chatting about trips to Epstein's island. The former Israeli Prime Minister knew about Epstein's allegations years before he claimed to. Emails from 2011 show his assistant forwarding him emails about Epstein's sex trafficking. Yet in 2015, Barak took $1 million from Epstein for their Carbine venture. Now we have Peter Thiel, the billionaire behind Palantir. Palantir's software tracks you, me, and everyone else, weaponizing data for intelligence agencies to be able to control and predict behavior. They're currently using the Gaza Strip as a training ground for their surveillance and using AI-driven targeting to genocide Palestinians. Palantir built its stock, increasing nearly 1,000% since last year by investing in AI targeting systems to kill people, with CIA and Department of Defense backing, which they are now, by the way, making deals with the U.S. military. In 2024, Palantir partnered with the Israeli occupation forces for war-related missions. They have given Israel the means for the genocide in Gaza, all with high-tech surveillance. It's no shock Peter Thiel was involved with Epstein. The emails show Epstein pushing Barak to spend real time with Thiel to scale their Carbine deal. Why? Because Palantir and Carbine are two sides of the same coin, tools for the government to monitor and manipulate populations. And who's at the center of all of this? The state of Israel, using Epstein's dirty money to infiltrate American infrastructure. By 2020, Carbine scored a $1.5 million contract with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to develop AI surveillance tech, used at the sake of American citizens' privacy. Not only was Epstein's island used as a sex trafficking ring, but also as a hub for Israeli intelligence and Palantir's launch for a technocratic over-surveillance society in America. Jeffrey Epstein, ex-Israeli Prime Minister, and Peter Thiel are three of the most important assets to two very powerful surveillance companies used in the American government that can track your every move and carry out mass population control.